Hello, so let's welcome you to another video. Let's discuss the idea of extending out your words in order to slow down your speech. So, we have discussed in some of our previous videos how slowing down your speech can have a big positive impact on your speech and move you towards becoming a smoother speaker, especially if you struggle with speech, especially if you have a hard time speaking. So, if you look around, if you notice, most of the people who struggle with speech, they usually tend to speak fast. They tend to rush, they tend to speak fast because they want to get done with what they are saying as quickly as they can. If you struggle with your speech, you can probably relate to this fact. How you always have a tendency to rush, how you always want to rush, how you always want to speak fast. And that is where your speech starts to slip down. That is where your speech starts to actually go down. So, my name is Farrukh and I'm serving as a certified Pro90d speech coach. And if you want a one-on-one hold of me, we have some links down there in the description. So let's get on to words extending your words. Extending your words simply means stretching out, elongating your words. So for example, right now when I'm speaking right here, I'm not extending my words in this sentence. But if I'm speaking this sentence once again, if you notice the way that I'm speaking right here, is that I'm extending out my words. So if you notice, right when I was saying that sentence or those couple of sentences, I was extending out my words. I was extending out some of my words. I was extending out some of my words. It's like emphasizing that word. It's like highlighting that word. It's like underlining that word. So if you start to stretch out, elongate, stretch out, or extend out your words, it helps you to slow down your speech. So if you notice, if you start to extend out your words, even if you want, you can't speak fast. So for example, if I'm not extending my words right here, I'm speaking fast, yes, I can speak fast. But if I'm speaking like this, I'm extending out some of my words, what I can notice right here is that my speech starts to slow down. And I actually start to slow down my speech. So if you struggle with speaking fast, if you have a tendency to rush, and that of course has a negative impact on your speech, so you can replace that habit by extending out your words. By extending out your words and extending out more of your words. Now let me be very clear. It's not going to be very easy at the start, especially if you have a habit of speaking really fast for a long time. So it's going to take its time. It's going to take time to replace that old habit of speaking fast with this new habit where you are training yourself to speak slow, to speak smoothly. Now, what are the words that you can extend out? You might be asking me, or you might be asking yourself, which are the words that I can extend out? So, there is no hard and fast rule to that, but some of the words that you can emphasize or extend are words that you may have historically struggled with. So, for example, historically, if I've struggled to say the word struggle, so I can go like, historically, I've struggled to say the word struggle. So instead of forcing out that word, instead of trying to just push out that word and start to mumble over that word, what I can do is that I can extend out that word. I can emphasize that word. I can like highlight that word, elongate that word, stretch that word out. So some of the words that you have historically struggled with, you can extend those words out. Then, some of the words that you can extend are the words that you want the audience to remember. Now, that audience can be one person, that audience can be a lot of people, or whoever it might be. For example, if you're saying something, there is a name of an organization, there is something important that you want them to remember. So what you do is that you can extend that word out. So for example, if I want you to remember the name of the system, that is the Pro90d speech system, I can go like, so if I want you to remember the name of the Pro90d speech system, so when I say that, when I say it in that way, I'm highlighting that word. Just like if I was writing it, if I if I put a highlighter on that, it would look like that. So it would help me as well as a speaker, and it would help you as well because it would enable you to remember what I said easier when I extend that word out. So extending of words is not only something that you can use if you have a hard time speaking, if you struggle with your speech. It is a skill that some of the best speakers use in order to highlight certain words, highlight certain sentences they are saying. So start extending out more of your words. Now, one situation where it is most useful to extend out your words are when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling nervous. So when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling nervous, and all of that, those are the situations where you would usually tend to speak fast. Because when a person gets anxious, they start to speak fast and their speed starts to go down and whatever. So, especially if you are anxious, nervous, so if you can start to extend out more of your words right there, and you can start to slow down your speech right there, it can make you feel more cool, calm, and relaxed, and then you can get into a good flow. For example, I'm starting a meeting. I can go like, so it's great to see everybody right here. I welcome you all to this meeting. And in this meeting, there are three things that we want to speak about. The first thing that we would be going ahead with would be this, the second thing would be this, and the third thing is that we have to speak about this. So you notice how I'm starting off like super slow and moving my way into the flow. So at the start of your speech, at the start of your presentation, of an interview, of even a one-on-one conversation, you can extend out more of your words. Also, if you're feeling really anxious, if you're feeling really nervous, so you can extend out your words and it would help you to slow down your speech. Slowing down would help you to become and stay more cool, calm, and relaxed. So, speaking slow, moving your hands, moving your head, using facial expressions, and doing that slow, like moving your hands in a slow rhythm, releasing the anxious energy and everything, and just using your hands, using your facial expressions, using your head movements, in fact, using your whole body to speak. It can really help you to ease yourself. So, extend out more of your words in order to slow down your speech, move your body, move it slow. The more you do it, the more you get yourself into an easier zone, and the easier it is for you to speak and speak well. So this is obviously a major advantage to extending out your words or extending out more of your words. Now, if you are someone who is a really fast speaker that the people are not able to understand even one word of what you're saying, if that is the case, start extending almost every single word. Start extending almost every single word. That means that go super slow, focus consciously on going and speaking super duper slow. I'm not saying slow. If you're a very fast speaker, if you're on one extreme, try to focus on the other extreme so that at least you can lie somewhere in between. If you're a really fast speaker and you speak in a way that the people sometimes can't even comprehend one word of what you're saying, and I just ask you to speak slow, you might still end up on the faster side. So focus on going super slow. Focus on extending almost every single word if you're a really fast speaker. But if you are a normal speaker, in some situations you speak fast, you become anxious, and all of that. So start to extend more of your words. If not all of your words, more of your words. And in most situations, if you're not a very fast speaker, you would not need to extend all of your words. Like, for example, if I'm speaking to you right here, what I'm doing is that I'm not extending all of my words, I'm extending some of my words. Now, if I start to extend all of my words, it would sound like this, and it might get weird, it might get boring. I'm not asking you to drag your speech. I'm not asking you to extend every single word. I'm asking you to extend out more of your words, because it would help you to slow down your speech and make you into a more relaxed person and get you actually into a more relaxed state. But if you're a really fast speaker, you speak extremely fast, focus on going super slow, not even slow, super slow, by over articulating your words, by extending, emphasizing, extending out your words, extending out more of your words or most of your words. So that is the real advantage to this. Now, let me be very clear. This is not something that you have to keep doing all your life, because our eventual goal where we want to reach is that we want to become a dynamic speaker. Dynamic speech is fast and slow. So, for example, when I'm speaking to you, there are some sentences that I would speak fast like this. Then there would be some things where I go slow like this. So, this mixture of fast and slow is something that makes it really interesting. But right now, when you're working on your speech, the first step often is to just focus on slowing down your speech. Once you reach to the level of becoming a smooth, amazing, and excellent speaker, then you can really play around with your speech. You can go fast, you can go slow, you can do whatever you want. But right now, the main thing is to slow down your speech. There are also a lot of other stuff in this system. There is also a lot of other stuff in the system, but the first step is often to slow down your speech. And believe it or not, sometimes just the idea of slowing down your speech improves your speech by at least 80%, just by the idea of slowing down your speech. So try to focus on it and try to work on it by yourself. Like, for example, give yourself half an hour each day and say, in this half an hour, I'm going to practice extending out my words. I'm going to just practice stretching out my words. And let me speak about what I'm going to do the next day. Okay, so my plans for the next day are that I'm going to speak to a client and I have a meeting to do, like start to do half an hour sessions, or include someone with you, your wife, your husband, your mother, your father. You can just have them sit in front of you and say that, okay, so I'm working on my speech, I'm working on slowing down my speech, so I want you to see how I'm speaking, and then you can work on extending out your words. So this is really important. So as I said, I'm working as a certified Pro90d speech coach. I work one-on-one with clients. I've been working as a speech coach for the past 1 year, helping clients all over the world really take their speech and their lives towards the next level. So if you want one-on-one help, if you want one-on-one coaching with me, I've shared the link in the description to schedule a one-on-one assessment session with me, where I can look at your speech, where I can assess your speech, and we can give you the best coaching and pricing options. We have some really certain pricing options for you for working with me, and it can really help you out, because working with a speech coach accelerates your progress by at least 10 times. It gives you evaluation, it gives you feedback, it gives you accountability that you need, and it keeps you encouraged. It makes the whole process quite faster. Often we have seen that the clients who are working with on their own with the self-study course inside the system, they do improve their speech by a great level. But if you work with a coach, it can help you accelerate it by at least 10 times. So maybe where you would reach working with yourself, working by yourself in an year, working with a coach might help you reach at the same place in a matter of 2 to 3 months. So that is the real advantage to that. I've shared the links in the description for that. Like, share, and subscribe so that this video can reach out to more and more people who are in need, and it can really help them out. See you in the next video. Thank you.